Did they?
Well, it looks different.
Okay. Can someone check, see if we are on yet?
I'm waiting.
We're at 60 subscribers.
There we are.
All right. Oh, and 17,400 followers, too.
I see orcs.
Okay, yeah, like
Eldar.
keeping with our past, you know, give people something to look at while we're
Bebop.
talking.
Bebop sees and hears us.
Hey, Bebop, good to see you. Hairless Working, good to see you.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hello, hello. Okay.
Yes, we're working on that, but our tone is not right.
Okay. So yeah, Bron, if you want to do the intro?
Do the honors?
Yes.
Well, it's the Escapist live podcast. Imagine that. For the week of April the 7th, 2017. It's a very exciting weekend because, as you can see from the game that's being played in front of us, we got some Dawn of War 3 going on.
Yep.
And honestly, that's really all you need to know. There's Dawn of War 3, and we like it.
And I will be streaming that properly after the podcast.
And I might even join him.
Yeah, I'd be glad to have
Is
you.
it single player or co-op in it yet?
The beta is just multiplayer.
Okay.
This is the closed beta that's going on this weekend and next weekend.
Yep.
The open beta is the following weekend, the weekend of the 21st or 22nd. 22nd. And then it comes out right after that. So
Yeah.
super exciting.
It's basically it's like a demo for press people.
Well, the closed beta has been going on for a little while. So
Like an actual beta. Okay.
yeah, the open beta is just one weekend, but that's the weekend before launch, I believe. So this is nice. This is going to be great. Very excited. I haven't even gotten to check it out yet, so I'm looking forward to getting my hands on it this weekend. So you know what else is going to be? You know what we're not going to be streaming?
Wolf
Liz?
hello.
Jumping right into it.
I think it's kind of funny. I got the news, and then I mentioned it to Liz about it, and she hadn't heard the full details yet. And when I told her the full details, I think Liz is more agitated about this than I am at this. Or last we spoke.
And I don't even think I was going to be the one streaming it. I think that was going to be you.
No, yeah, it was going to be me.
It's a matter of principle.
Well, we were talking about you joining in for some of it because you wanted to see it, but
right.
Well, here's the thing. We were talking about it Wednesday.
We should probably tell people what it is before we.
I'm going to. We were talking. So what we're talking about is Persona 5, which has been out for like 6 goddamn months in Japan. Atlas has basically threatened all of the people that are playing in the U.S. and saying, if you stream anything besides the things we tell you can stream, then we'll put at least a content ID claim on your channel, or we might even get your whole channel suspended.
Yes.
So, and it's a little bit disingenuous because here are some of the rules that Atlas has put out there. You could post as many videos as you like, but each video should be limited to at most 90 minutes. No major story spoilers. If you need guidelines, avoid showing or spoiling ending segments of the first 3 palaces. And then this is where it gets really weird.
Yeah.
It says, while you could show initial interactions with Yasuke, avoid his awakening scene and that whole deal about the painting.
Well, thanks for letting us know. Thanks for letting us know that when we see a painting, we already know it's going to be plot significant somehow.
Yeah.
And
also, don't post anything about a certain student investigator.
There are spoilers in this supposedly anti-spoiler streaming policy.
But then it says, I know I mentioned not showing the end of each palace, but you can grab footage from the Kamoshida boss fight. However, don't capture any video from other boss fights. You cannot focus solely on cutscenes and animated scenes, and you should prominently feature dungeon crawling or spending time in Tokyo. And then all of those are restrictions. And that's honestly not unusual for, like, say, pre-release
Absolutely.
streams.
I was gonna say.
I have seen many requests like this when it comes to review copies.
This reads like a review copy embargo agreement.
It does.
Absolutely.
It really
and
does.
I mean,
Let's read like that.
every review copy that I get, it comes with a list of things that it's like, we would like to request that you not do this. And you can very easily not agree to that and then just purchase the game for yourself when it comes out.
Sure.
Obviously. But you know, when we write reviews, we don't really want to spoil the game for people anyway.
No.
So it's that's those are things that we likely would not include
Unless
in
you're GameSpot, in which case you put the ending of Persona 5 in your video review.
But anyway.
Yeah.
But that's none of my business.
It gets even dumber though, because it says
the streaming restrictions are where it's really very.
This is the part that really kind of hit me really wrong, which is this being a Japanese title with single playthrough story means our masters in Japan, buck passing, are very wary about it.
Ron,
Sharing is currently blocked through the native PS4 UI. However, if you do plan on streaming, video guidelines above apply except length. If you decide to stream past 7/7, which is a point in the game.
Thanks for letting us know that's
July
a plot point too.
Yeah, I highly recommend not doing this. You have been warned, in all caps. You do so at the risk of being issued a content ID claim or worse, a channel strike or account suspension. Well, hey, thanks.
Channel.
I will.
That was all in bold. They wanted to make sure you knew that was a thing.
I will say.
Yeah.
I will say regarding the accusation of buck passing. To be fair, I'm sure Atlas USA is just the messenger here. I'm pretty sure they have literally.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure.
But it's very rare that you would see that so boldly admitted to.
That is interesting. That which kind of makes me wonder how if Atlas USA they're not feeling that great about this themselves.
Well, I mean, when you outright, refer to the people making the decisions as your masters in Japan, I feel like that kind of that's not a very subtle way of saying, hey.
Yeah.
Atlas used to have a different guy. I mean, he's pretty well known, right? He was a PR person. And he used to be in charge of everything. He used to talk to the community. Very active dude. Right?
This is borderline racist, but now I'm just imagining like the CEO of Atlas in Japan like threatening to like cut the Atlas USA employees' pinkies off or something.
I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. I think there's probably some truth in the fact that it is coming directly from Atlas in Japan. But I mean,
the way they worded it is so harsh.
Also,
but I mean, they're still cutting your checks, guy. I mean,
Also, Atlas Japan was purchased a few years by Sega. So
we're not entirely sure who the masters that we're referencing are.
Puyo Tetris.
But the reason I mentioned that is Sega has had some clashes with YouTubers and such.
Well, they did temporarily. The Japanese version is banned. The American version, you can stream as much as you like.
Yeah.
Okay. As I was saying, the Sega has had some clashes with like YouTubers a couple of years ago. In fact, I believe if memory serves, Total Biscuit has some will not do videos on Sega released games because of some like BS content. Some ID they put on one of his review videos years ago. Although weirdly enough, it's kind of weird. Although on the other hand, the problem with it's Sega's fault theory is the game I am streaming before you right now, with the express blessing of the publisher, is a Sega published game.
Yes, it is.
Yakuza 0 is a Sega published game. I have had no problem streaming that. But
I can't think of a Sega published game in the last couple of years where there's been any trouble streaming.
Yeah.
No, I honestly can't either. And the reason that they gave, which is very important, is that they don't, quote unquote, don't want the experience to be spoiled for people who haven't played the game. Because we all know that you guys are such fucking idiots that you're going to accidentally stumble upon a Twitch channel and accidentally watch 4 hours of a game that you don't want spoiled for you, you morons. But aside from that, we will get into the fact that is a lie of a reason right there.
Yeah, that bothers me maybe as much as anything.
No, that's absolutely not the real reason, but we will get to that in a moment. My biggest issue with this statement is when it came out.
Day of. release.
No, it was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the day of release. So there are people who
rushed
went
out to buy it,
purchased this game, and there are likely people who purchased this game with the sole purpose of streaming.
I was almost one of them.
Who, after the fact, were told that all of a sudden they couldn't. And there are going to be people who, you know, obviously we're in a unique position where we're privy to this information, you know, nice and quick. But there are going to be people who aren't aware that this is something that was thrown onto it hours after it released, and they're going to end up getting fucked.
And look, let's be real honest here.
I was going to say,
I mean,
I was almost one of the thing is, I tried to pre-order the game from Amazon for the specific purpose of streaming it, and I was saved from blowing my $60 only because Amazon screwed up the thing, and I had to, and like they needed, and Amazon was having some problem with like identifying my payment method or something, so I was gonna have to redo it, and I was so pissed off I was gonna wait a few days to bother doing it again.
Right, and we were talking about that just a couple of hours before,
and then Tuesday. And then, like, Tuesday afternoon, like, a few hours before the leak, I was thinking, I don't know, should I go up to the Play and Trade and maybe buy it there, you know, stream it tonight?
Yeah, he was just going to go out and buy it and say, fuck it, let's do this.
Because
like, we were going to stream it that night.
We were talking about that very thing, yeah.
Think about this. We all know, most people know, probably 75 to 80% of the people that play video games don't read video game websites.
Right.
Yeah, watch streams.
I'd say 70% of the people that play games have never turned Twitch on. Ever.
Oh,
you don't even know it exists.
I think that's absolutely fair.
I'm sure the percentage is higher than that, probably. I mean,
they go to the store, they buy a fucking game. If they do stream it, they're because they push the share button on PS4, right?
Right. Yeah, right.
So that's not an issue for them with Persona. But what if, say, you know, Bob Johnson over here purchases Persona 5 and he has such a great time with it, he wants to stream it, so he figures out how to do it, right?
Yeah.
Streams it on YouTube, and immediately his channel gets banned because Alice is a bunch of assholes.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Since we're talking about a bunch... Yeah, absolutely. Since we're talking about a bunch of assholes, let's go back to why this is not at all about spoilers.
Here we go.
Let's just be very clear about this. This is not... Honestly... I truly feel like I would have had more respect for them if they hadn't lied about the reason.
Absolutely.
The reason is because it is a story-heavy game, and they don't want people to watch it instead of playing it. It will hurt their bottom line. It is a business decision based on that. And the fact that they decided to not only lie, but insult the intelligence of their fans, the players who are going to be playing this game, in that lie is something that really doesn't sit right with me.
Agreed.
And, you know, it's very harsh for me to call it a lie because obviously we don't 100% know, but we know. It's not because they think people are going to accidentally watch hours of streams and then be angry that it was spoiled for them. You're not going to go to a website that is specifically designed to share gameplay with you and watch all of the gameplay and then go, oh man, I wish I hadn't seen that. You know, this is because they want people to purchase the game and not just decide to watch it. You know, we saw something somewhat similar with that Dragon Cancer.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but it happens to me all the time. I'm sitting here working, and all of a sudden Twitch pops up and holds me down in my chair and forces me to watch 4 hours of gameplay. It's awful.
Yeah, no, isn't it the worst thing ever? Twitch should really fix that. Worst. That's a feature. But no, that is my single biggest complaint outside of them waiting until halfway into launch day to tell everybody.
Yeah, that was...
Is that it wasn't even genuine. I feel like I would have respected it if they said, you know, we put a lot of effort and time into this, and we would really appreciate you allowing everybody to experience it for themselves. You know, we're going to lose money on this, you know, whatever it may be.
Yeah,
right now, considering this was shaping up to be one of the biggest releases of the year, it probably still will be. But it's not as if this was a nothing game that was just going to get swept under the rug. I know a lot of people who were extremely excited about this that are now like, well, wait a second.
Raise his hand.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Back up. Back up a minute. You just said that this was going to be one of the biggest releases of the year.
Absolutely. I totally believe that.
That's crazy talk.
Fight me in real life.
I'd have to take Ron's side.
It's definitely a big release for the people who are into Persona games.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say
it's not a big release for the gaming world at large. Like it's not even going to make
Then you look at how well it's been reviewed, and the fact that from everything that I've seen, I haven't played it yet, so I obviously this could be completely wrong. But from everything I've seen, you don't have to be like some sort of, Persona expert in order to jump into this game. So it is very approachable for new people. They don't have to go through and play all of the previous entries. So the fact that it was so well reviewed, that is being discussed very extensively. And yes, that absolutely would have impacted people's decision to buy it even more. I honestly think this could have been absolutely 100% one of the biggest releases of the year.
I don't think if every single thing fell exactly perfectly for Atlas, everything, and Persona 5 reviewed with straight hundreds across the board, it still wouldn't have come close to being a top 10 game this year.
If it had reviewed with straight hundreds across the board, no one would have believed it. Just like no one believed The Legend of Zelda.
Well, it's sitting on 94. Persona 5 is sitting on a 94 Metascore right now.
Which is great.
It will be lucky to crack the top 20 in sales this year. That'll be like a really good deal for it if it cracks the top 20.
I'm going to take a boringly half-assed position between Ron and Liz. And going to say, Ron is right in that it's a niche. It's very much a niche title, and I think it's possible to get an exaggerated sense of how big it is simply because what audience it does have is like super
loud.
Well, super loud and super enthusiastic. So
I'm going to be completely honest. I haven't played any of the Personas, and I was going to purchase this game.
This one is so good. Like, don't pass it up.
And
no, I'm not going to. Yeah. But I really did not have any huge interest in this. I know that it's shocking that I haven't played every video game ever in the world. But
what's the matter with you, Liz?
It's definitely one of those things where I tend to balance, and that's just never really been on my radar. And this one was different, and it's been different since it released in Japan in September, where I have been so excited about this game that I really know nothing about.
But yeah,
you know what I mean? I don't have that sort of, rose-colored glasses that I'm walking into where I'm in love with the franchise, but I saw it. I've been looking at it, and it's like, I'm really excited for this fucking game.
Yeah,
I think that there are plenty of people out there like that.
Well, it's been out for 6 months in Japan.
And there's no spoilers anywhere.
It's been out 6 months in Japan, and total, including the launch sales here in the United States, as of yesterday, they've sold 1.5 million units total worldwide.
Pretty good.
All right,
no.
If I could get a word in edgewise.
No! Go ahead.
I was literally about to mute you just to taunt you, but... if I could get a word in edgewise on this, where I do sort of partly agree with Liz is I do think this is sort of it's positioned. I don't think it's going to be like top 10. I think it is positioned to be a significant step upwards for the Persona series and how much mainstream recognition it has.
I agree.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
I agree that it will probably be like the most popular of the Persona games,
or any Atlas game.
It's from what I read, it's already the best-selling game Atlas has ever done.
Mm-hmm.
Already.
It made a good game.
So, that's not terribly surprising. Yeah. This is a game that's been anticipated for a long time.
Right.
But the entire Persona series has sold less than 7 million copies worldwide, including Persona 5.
Right.
It's not a terribly popular series. But I do think, like John said, I think this is poised to broaden its user base.
Yeah.
Right.
I think the reason it's not popular is obviously because of advertising. It's not like they can afford ads at Times Square. You know, they're not Activision.
Right, right.
Huge Destiny ads over there, and or have an NFL spot.
I think
You know,
I don't think that's right.
I think to some extent the
I don't
product
think it
is
necessarily has to do with money. But I do agree that it's not being advertised correctly. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's like it's a super niche game, and it's not really being advertised correctly. I mean, having a Super Bowl ad probably wouldn't help sales very much. It might help some, but it wouldn't be worth it, right? Because it's just, I mean, all the people watching Super Bowl don't really care about some Japanese anime thing. You know, that's gonna dump, right? To
some extent, to the biggest extent, the premise of the game is sort of inherently
that's
niche.
a Pokemon.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I mean, but how many people are going to run out and buy a video game where they get to play out a year of going to high school in Tokyo?
Right, they're not gonna. It's a very niche thing, and it's also the themes are very dark. It's not bright like Pokemon, and it's not, you know, it's not current like you know, like oh, let's go to war, you know, and push it up, you know, Battlefield.
Right.
Or something.
Yeah.
It's not like that at all. Yeah.
It's just a very different. It's a very different series. Shin Megami Tensei games have always been. They've always had the people who are into them and follow them are very much into them.
Yes.
But you know, they never had that like broad appeal. So you know, I do think that there was a good point made in chat a minute ago while John and I were yelling at each other. Whitfam said, "Do you think it'll be remembered more for being a good game or for the fact that their streaming rules suck?" I think it'll be the latter myself.
I kind of have to agree there, to be completely honest, because of the way that it was done. It was done so late in the day after the fact. And it was a very disingenuous statement. You know, really like was. I really would have respected it a whole lot more if they said, you know what, it's a story-based game. We don't want you to watch it. We don't want you to watch it. We want you to buy it. But instead, it was, oh no, you're gonna accidentally spoil it.
Aaron, thank you for subscribing.
It's like, no, you're not. Hey, thank you. Hey.
Yeah, I think that would have been. I think that would have been way too honest for them to do. But it would have been great if they literally just said, "Listen, guys, it's a story game. If you watch it on Twitch, you're not gonna buy it. So." Don't watch it on Twitch, right?
Yeah, no, and I would have respected that. Like, that is a business decision, and no matter what, you know, we do have this habit of looking at a developer as kind of like a person, whereas it is very much so a business, and they are in this for money, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. This is how they pay their bills, and I would respect that if there had been that level of honesty.
Well, I also think it's worth noting that the people who are going to play Persona 5, it's not going to matter to them at all. It's not going to make any difference. But it may...
Streams draw in newcomers, people who've never heard of the game, never seen it, or just maybe heard of it in passing, and they watch it and they're like, oh, this seems like fun. I'll go buy it myself, and I don't want to spoil it anymore, so I'm not going to watch the stream anymore. You know?
Honestly, I am very curious to see if a big enough name decides to just say, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to do this. Let's take it to court if we have to. And just sit back and see what happens.
No one's going to do that.
You know what, though? Let me dream.
Yeah. Well, I think I mean,
I'm certainly not going to do it. I don't have the time or money or desire to go to court over something like this. But let me dream. Let me believe that there's one person out there that I can just sit back and watch and popcorn and be like, I wonder how this will play out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like there's definitely... Like, I would love to see that happen, but we know it's not going to happen. You know, I think there's an argument to be made here that they're shooting themselves in the foot a bit just because of the restrictions, people are probably not going to stream it as much as they would have. I know
they're about to learn a real lesson in spite as well, because you know how many people are just going to be like, you know what, fuck you, and they're only going to post shit everywhere they can, forums, Twitter, Facebook.
I mean, look at what happened this week
from those exact moments in the game.
I had the ending spoiled for me in the Twitter discussion thread responding to the original Atlas announcement because people were just
wow.
So here's the thing. We saw this happen this week. I mean, big streamers kind of taking us firing back at people with the whole Total Biscuit taking on Gearbox because Gearbox is putting out a
Total Biscuit's not primarily a streamer.
No, but my point is that he took on, basically said, I'm never going to do any videos of another Gearbox game because Gearbox is doing a partnership with G2A.
Right.
And now Gearbox is backpedaling and basically put a bunch of ultimatums on G2A, or else they're going to pull all their programs from them.
Oh my god.
G2A is never going to acquiesce to any of that because that's where all the money is.
Okay.
No, it's because they don't care anything about being ethical as long as they make money.
I just want to say all that
stolen fucking CD keys.
I was just gonna say all that said regarding Persona 5. In the end, I don't think it's going to be that big an effect,
a deal,
one way or the other, because
people that were gonna play it will still play.
Yeah,
people will not necessarily deny themselves a game they want to play for something like this, but it is something they will remember about Atlas. It's what I'm going to say. This is something that they will absolutely remember about Atlas, and it's something that is going to be an asterisk next to a very big achievement for the company. So,
and I will say that I'm certainly still want to play it, but it has it has reduced.
Has it dampened your ardor, John?
Well, there's less urgency for me to run out and buy it now, because if I'm not going to be streaming it. And so it's sort of this is one of the very minor downsides of streaming as a job, is that I have it does limit my sort of it limits my sort of how to say
it limits your free time to play what you want.
My off-duty video game time, yeah. And
it limits your free time to play what you want. This is a common,
which isn't that bad, because I mean when I'm on the stream, I'm playing a lot of the games. I'm playing the games mostly I'd be playing anyway, so it's not a big deal. But it does mean,
if you can't stream the game you would normally want to play,
yeah, if I can't stream the game I'd normally want to play, then it does have to sort of go on. It does have to get a lower priority. So I'm not going to be running out to buy Persona 5 anymore, and I'll probably be waiting until it's at a lower cost.
Right.
So, Tristaco's asked in chat, and since I brought it up, I'll do a really brief explanation. What is G2A? G2A is a site where you can buy game keys, but it is very shady. Many of the keys that are sold on there are bought with stolen credit cards, or they're fraudulent, and the keys don't necessarily always continue to work for a long time. A lot of them end up getting canceled.
They even ban your account if you buy Origin keys.
Some of them, they'll ban your account. That's right. And then they actually charge you money for what they call G2A Shield, which is a guarantee that the keys you buy from them will actually work, and if they don't work, you get your money back.
Yeah, it's a warranty.
Will work.
It's a warranty on a it's a warranty on a string of numbers and letters.
Yes. Yeah. So what's interesting is Gearbox decided to do this partnership with them for some reason. Like, apparently Google doesn't work in the Gearbox offices.
It's really fucking weird.
It's so strange. But now, one thing I will give Gearbox, one thing I'll give Gearbox credit for is that there was a really big backlash, and Gearbox actually was listening, because I think they realized that they had made a really stupid maneuver here.
Yeah, they made an
uh-oh. Yeah, so
none of them have ever read any gaming sites talking about G2A.
Yeah, so Gearbox basically issued some ultimatums to G2A, and they said, "Okay, here are the demands."
I believe the plural is ultimata. Go on.
Thank you. Before Bulletstorm comes out on Steam, G2A has to, within 30 days, make a public commitment to, within 30 days, make the G2A Shield program free of charge instead of paid. They have to, within 90 days, open up a web service or API to certified developers and publishers to search and flag for removal fraudulent keys, free of charge. Before Bulletstorm Steam launch, G2A must publicly commit to within 60 days implementing throttling for non-certified developers and publishers at the title, user ID, and account payable levels for fraud flagging. And then they must make a public commitment within 30 days to restructure its payment system so that customers wishing to buy and sell legitimate keys are given a clear, simple fee structure, easy to understand with no hidden charges.
And literally none of those things is going to happen.
Yeah, and Gearbox says, well, they don't do any of those. We're not going to do anything with them. So we'll see. I mean, for those of you that have followed the G2A thing, you remember that, like, late last year, they lost a bunch of deals with YouTubers and streamers who said we weren't going to support them anymore.
Right.
And then they did that Reddit AMA that was just a disaster.
My God,
Oh my God, it was bad.
I'm not familiar with this.
I forgot about that.
Okay, if you talk about this.
Yeah, they did an AMA where people just absolutely roasted them, man.
Yeah.
And while in the AMA, they're like, we have all this new security, so you can't, we have really difficult to bypass security so that you can't verify a fraudulent key. And in the middle of the AMA, some guy went and posted a fraudulent key that he made up and posted screenshots of him doing it in the AMA. And to make things worse, like, okay, so at this point, we know you're talking shit, right? We know you're full of it. No, we know. So instead of going, oh God, guys, we're going to patch those holes right now, you know what they did? They responded to the guy and saying that they tracked down his account and said it's now going to have stricter verification procedures on his account.
On his account.
On his account, and they blocked his ability to buy anything or to withdraw any money he had saved in his wallet on their site. So they basically just stole all the money that he had in his wallet on G2A.
Which is definitely a thing that legitimate businesses tend to do, like, all the time. So
it was like watching a monkey fuck a football. It was amazing. It was. The short version of this is, if you're thinking about buying a key on G2A, don't do that.
Don't do that ever. Please don't.
Yeah, don't.
Number one, you'll probably get fucked in the deal. Number two, don't give G2A your money.
Don't give them access to your money is the thing. Don't give them
nothing.
Your credit card or anything. Like, that would just be really very unfortunate.
It just
all around.
Stick to the safe, recommended places that are developer friendly. Places like Green Man Gaming, places like Humble Bundle, places like Steam, GOG.
Origin, GOG, God
Ubisoft. Even Ubisoft.
Even Uplay. I would rather you buy a game from Uplay and play it on your computer using Uplay than have you give G2A money. Fair?
Give them nothing.
Like, that's how bad G2A is. I am recommending Uplay over it.
Oh my God, I'm crying.
All right, so enough about that shitty stuff. I want to talk about something awesome.
Okay.
So, yesterday, Red Hook Studios added Steam Workshop support to Darkest Dungeon.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And the very first thing that they apparently have been working with some modders behind the scenes along the way. And so one of the very first big mods that was up there was something called Pitch Black Dungeon, John, which is basically, you played XCOM, right?
Certainly.
You played the Long War mod, right?
No.
Okay, but you're aware of what it is, right?
Certainly.
Okay, this is the Long War mod for Darkest Dungeon.
Jesus.
Nice.
It is absolute. I am almost afraid to pull the trigger on it.
It will probably kill you in real life.
Yeah, well, listen, here's a few of the features from Pitch Black Dungeon. They added over 450 new enemy variants, over 135 pieces of lore. They've basically redesigned, rebalanced, or added on to pretty much every hero and enemy ability in the game. There are now 85 potions. Over 3 times the amount of quests that can be generated. New unique trinket sets. New diseases. New mini-bosses in each dungeon.
Are there new syphilis subtypes?
Probably.
That's what I play that game for, mostly. So
all it says is 9 new diseases, as well as a full disease rebalance to make them deadlier than ever.
Oh God. The game is hard enough as it
you
is.
even get there's actually a feature in Pitch Black Dungeon, John, that you and I have already asked for.
What's that?
Here's the 2 things they mentioned: additional corpse mechanics, ranging from fermenting and fumigating all the way to hordes of skeletons reanimating undead and more.
Neat.
You will also be able to meet fallen heroes in combat as you try to remember who the real enemy is.
Yes. We were talking about
that is fantastic.
Undead former party members. We have talked about that.
Nice.
Yeah. So, it's something you can install. The workshop actually has a ton of stuff in it, and it includes everything from making stuff like firewood and quest items stack in your inventory to UI updates, new classes, visual overhauls, mods that remove the level restrictions on the dungeons you can go into. There are basically like 60 mods available already. If you are into this is a thing you should look at. Hegan says right there, Hegan is making art and design for a full extra 4 characters for Darkest Dungeon. So, yeah, I mean, some of the new characters I saw were Valkyrie, Gunslinger, Necromancer, Blackguard, Demon Hunter.
Are those out yet? Like, I mean, did people already?
Oh, yeah, you can download them right now. They're in the Steam Workshop. You just click it and add it to your game.
Wow.
It's a little crazy.
Wow, people are really working on this.
I have a feeling that at some point in the near future, John and I might have to stream Pitch Black Dungeon just for fun. Because
that reminds me, due to my relentless coercive psychological mind game tactics, Liz will at some point, hopefully some point soon, be streaming that Darkest Dungeon here. She's only played like less than half, like basically just the tutorial of it.
Excellent.
Yeah, I've only done the tutorial, and then he made me stop and promise to sacrifice myself on the altar of streaming.
As soon as she mentioned that, like, I thought, oh, you got Darkest Dungeon, you're playing that. And she said, yeah, Ron convinced me to. I've only played like half an hour of it, and as soon as I heard that, I just,
Stop
what you're doing.
Like a predator on like a wounded gazelle or something, I just lunged.
So the other reason that I bring this up is just not only because it's cool that there's mods for Darkest Dungeon now, and I'm really kind of scared to see what the modding community does with it. I'm shocked there are 61 mods and there's no nude mod yet for the Vestal.
I was going to ask you about that.
But the game is also on sale for 50% off on Steam this weekend if you don't have it.
Nude mod for the Abomination is where it's at, Ron.
Oh, good God. Well, he'll just go to fur.
I see there's the Necromancer, the Pit Fighter. There's
a ton of new stuff. Ton of new stuff. Really exciting.
The Musketeer is already in the game, but it's like a backers only thing.
It was cosmetic. It's a reskin of the Arbalest.
Yeah, and this one they actually made it into a proper class. So that's really cool. I mean, yeah. Oh,
that's right. As Egan says, Vivantar was streaming Darkest Dungeon earlier this week, and he did make some mistakes.
Didn't go well.
I'll put it this way. People were asking in chat if he was doing some sort of challenge run. because he was failing to do various things that you obviously should be doing.
When you're new to a game, you don't know.
And they thought it was like...
although you would have thought from all the streams of you playing it he's watched, he would have known better.
It's just like, that
makes me feel so much better, because I'm going to get it, and it's like, I don't have to be, like, competent at the game. I just have to be better than B. Right?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Precisely. So this is a really good idea, mods for Darkest Dungeon, and I hope that everybody checks them out. Good luck.
Jump Pogo says, social experiment run.
There you go. That works for me. I think that works. So speaking of things that let's talk a little bit about. Last week or it may have been 2 weeks ago, we were talking about the Twitch was bringing the ability to sell games on your Twitch stream.
Yes.
To purchase, they're going to be selling it.
Well,
it's not like
they're selling them. You can have them shown on your Twitch stream.
Right.
So, for instance, if John was streaming Darkest Dungeon, you might see a button underneath of the stream that said you can buy Darkest Dungeon by clicking here.
Correct.
And when you click it, the streamer gets 5% of the sales, assuming they've opted into it.
Yeah, you have to opt in. That's the big thing. So it'll show up anytime the game is being played. However, it's not always like very concrete whether or not they would receive anything from it. They have to intentionally opt in.
It's kind of interesting because the way that they're doing it is anytime you buy a game that costs more than $5, you earn a Twitch crate.
Correct.
which is like a loot box because we need those on Twitch.
Yeah,
we need those on Twitch. But it'll give you things like emotes, badges, bits, you know. And then if you anytime you make a right in the early part of the program here, I think through early May, you also get entered. Anytime you get a Twitch crate, you also get an entry into a giveaway of a bunch of gaming gear and streaming gear and stuff like that. So right now there's about 50 games you can buy.
Right.
It appears that Darkest Dungeon may not be one of them. I'm not sure. Oh, here's the list. So Darkest Dungeon is one of them. There you go. Woohoo! So there's a list on Twitch you can find. There's about 50 games. But if you if you want to support your favorite streamers, that's an option you will be able to do. So
when does that start?
It's live now.
It started like 2 days ago, I think it was.
Yeah,
okay,
2 or 3 days ago.
Cool.
So if you're, you need to, if you are a streamer and you want to have that on your, you want to get the 5% from that, you need to make sure you opt into it. If you want to make sure that your favorite streamer gets some money from you, you need to remind them to opt into it.
See, I'm looking at some other stuff they've got there. For Honor, Ghost Recon Wildlands.
For Honor. How about that, right?
Have you played that, Liz?
Yeah, I played a little bit. I'm mostly commenting. Have you seen the Steam page for it recently?
It's not good.
It's not good. It's really very bad.
What? Look, I'm gonna look this up right now. Hold on.
You're fucking weak,
Okay,
John.
do it.
I've almost forgotten what I was supposed to say to you. Something about, what are you, fucking something. When John first streamed For Honor, he pushed a guy off a tower.
You fucking nerd.
There it is, you fucking nerd. That was it.
I shoved a guy to his death, and that was his reply to me.
That was his. That was how he fought back.
That's absolutely.
You fucking nerd. I was like, wow. You know what? Speaking of fucking nerds,
current user reviews overall mixed, recent mostly negative.
Yes, recent. That would be from the past. Yeah, that would be from the past like 30 days. It's
hey, Cecil's
negative.
Here. What's up, man?
Hey, Cecil.
Was there some?
Yes,
sort of...
only 36% of the reviews from the past 30 months on Steam, or from the past 30 days on Steam, are positive. It's mostly negative, and then overall it is mixed. So it's about 48% positive out of almost 17,000. So
I'm looking at this.
That's a thing.
I'm looking at the review of one Link Zeppeloid here, and I can't. Disclaimer: I cannot vouch for the accuracy of these criticisms, but it just amuses me here. Devs aren't fixing exploits. This might appear to be a fighting game, but it's actually a Super Saiyan magic spells game. The community, which is awful, has discovered how to exploit and abuse a few flawed mechanics. Now everybody does it. No patches.
Yeah.
But it's interesting.
It looks like the majority of the reviews that I'm looking at, everyone is commenting on connection issues.
It is, yeah, like
which has been an ongoing issue since launch.
I remember when I was playing it that the connection was not great.
It was nothing to write home about.
Every time you join a game, 2 people are hosting it. It's not one person, so it's 2 people hosting it peer to peer. And if either one of them disconnects, the whole game crashes.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. It's hilarious and bad.
So, anyway, speaking of people that are, I guess you could call fucking nerds. Did you guys hear that the German company Bossland that makes the bots for World of Warcraft, Blizzard actually won a massive lawsuit against them this week?
Yeah.
Now, is that what was that for? Like for gold farming purposes, or?
They had bots that would you could auto level. They would level your character. They would do gold farming. They would do all sorts of things.
All of the things that you would do through the game, and that's the purpose of playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the Bossland also did not only make cheats or bots for WoW. They made bots for Diablo 3, Heroes of the Storm. Hearthstone, Overwatch, these are they did a ton of these things, and
fucking nerds.
They've been there's been a lawsuit ongoing in the U.S., UK, Germany for a while, between Blizzard and Bossland, and they recently won a judgment in Germany, so they're not supposed to be selling any of these things in Germany anymore. They won the lawsuit in the UK, and so if anybody from the UK tries to go to Bossland's website, they actually get a message instead that says that it's, that buying products from them violates the terms of service or whatever. It's kind of strange. And so now this week, Blizzard won the same lawsuit in a California court. And just in case you want to know what a big deal this is, they found Bossland in violation of statutory copyright and 42,818 times, and ordered them to pay $8.56 million in statutory damages, plus an extra $150,000 in fees, attorney fees, just because.
Just because.
Yeah.
So, furthermore, the court also filed an order saying that the company is prohibited from marketing or selling any of its software in the United States. So, it's I honestly think, I don't know that Blizzard will ever collect a dime of that money, and I don't think they care. I think they're more interested in using the court to block the sale of those pieces of software than anything else.
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree.
The monetary judgment might be useful simply as a deterrent for future.
It's a cudgel. Yeah.
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 It wasn't the goal. That's for sure.
It's a nice bonus, and if they get some of it, it'll be great.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think the outcome they're most interested in is not letting them sell those products anymore.
Right.
I mean, let's face it, it's always it's a constant battle for a company like Blizzard against cheaters and botters and everything else, because you might take one out and two more pop up. So you never know, but it's, people always worry that cases like this will be used as precedent to go after modders or something like that.
Right.
But there is a distinct difference between making a mod that instead versus reverse engineering the code to break the game.
Right.
So, I think it's a good judgment. I'm glad to see it happen. But we're going to be hearing more about the same sort of thing against somebody else in a month or two. So
probably.
Yeah. Call me cynical, but what do you know? Other things that make me happy. Liz, this also makes Liz happy, I think. There is a new Penny Arcade Expo this year.
Yes, there is. This makes me very happy.
It is called PAX Unplugged, and it's in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
It's in Philadelphia.
Oh, yay.
Oh, wow.
I'm pretty sure Liz can throw a rock and hit it.
Nice.
So they're calling it PAX Unplugged, and basically it's all tabletop games and video games with board game or card game elements.
Correct.
So, you can expect to see a ton of like CCGs, stuff like that. It's going to be really, really cool, and I want to go.
I am so excited. And the big thing, the other PAXs are still going to have the tabletop section, but obviously that is growing. I'm going to say that one of my biggest complaints about going to conventions is that I usually do focus on video games. That's what most people are interested in.
Right.
But I always walk past the tabletop sessions, and it's like, I want to go over there.
I mean, how many times have you been to
Aw.
PAX East and you've had to walk like in that back entrance, and to get to the show floor, you have to walk right through the tabletop section?
You have to walk through it and try not to look at it because you have an appointment. Yeah, no, I know that pain.
and all you want to do is just stop and like sit down and roll some dice and play a game for a while, and you can't because you have an appointment at 10 o'clock and it really pisses you off.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying I've ever felt that, but that's what I heard. I would really like to.
Exciting.
I would really like to hit up PAX Unplugged. It takes place November 17th, 18th, and 19th in Philly at the Pennsylvania Convention Center.
Yeah.
And the badges go on sale next month.
Yes.
Wednesday, May the 3rd. One day will cost you $25. A 3-day pass is $60. And if you want to take your kids, between the ages of 6 and 12, they can get it on Sunday for $10. I've always had a good time at PAX. I can't imagine that will be different for PAX Unplugged, because I think it will be even more like laid back and chill than
for sure.
Because board games. But but if you're in the area, or if you want to go to something really cool, I would recommend it. I'm just saying.
I'm so excited.
It's gonna be great.
I don't have to stay in a hotel.
Yeah, that's always a bonus, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
You don't have to stay in a hotel with the world's worst Wi-Fi.
Right.
Very exciting stuff. So there's something else that happened this week that I want to bring up.
Okay.
I'm really excited I'm going to mention it, and I'm going to turn the floor over to Liz, and I'm going to just watch and enjoy the show.
Wait, what?
So you guys may have seen last week that in the wake of 1-2 Switch coming out, there was a
oh god,
there was a museum in Vermont that challenged Nintendo to come to their museum and see who can milk real cows the fastest.
Yeah.
Right?
Those poor cows.
Right. So
no,
it gets better.
It gets so much better.
So Nintendo was like, hell yeah, let's do it. I mean, they probably didn't use that verbiage, but still.
Yeah, they basically, and there was this really nice banter that went back and forth on
Facebook.
It
was great.
Like, it was the most that I have liked Nintendo in quite a while.
Please
watching that unfold.
Please tell me that like Reggie is going to go there in person as Nintendo's champion.
That's what I want.
God, I hope so. His body is ready. But so anyway, the fact that Nintendo accepted this challenge and is going to go milk an actual cow
in Vermont
has come to the attention of the wonderful group that you all know as PETA, the People for Ethical Treatment of Animals.
Yeah, it
People
has.
for the eating of tasty animals.
Yes, and they sent a letter to Nintendo in which they have challenged Nintendo to accurately simulate the all aspects of dairy farming.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
And it's really, I'm not gonna read it because it's retarded.
I'm gonna read it. Are you kidding me? All right. So this is directly from the letter. So no one get mad at me for anything that I say, because this is coming directly
open
from
quote.
The letter. Open quote. Okay. From the president of PETA. To simulate cow milking accurately, 1-2 Switch would need to show all aspects of dairy farming, including the violent insemination of female cows on what the dairy industry itself refers to as a quote-unquote rape rack.
Rated M for high-impact sexual violence.
this letter would not get classified in Australia.
I was just going to say that. Cows produce milk to feed their babies, but their young are torn away from the people or from them soon after birth so that human beings can use the milk instead. A mother cow will bellow for her calf for days after the baby is taken from her. Perhaps you could add these sounds to your game in order to remind players that by drinking milk, people support an industry that separates mothers from their babies. End quote.
Good God.
So I just want to put that out there. They also recommend an almond milk mini game, which would be a little bit more appropriate in their minds.
To pick almonds. Now, don't get me wrong.
So I could see Nintendo doing that. That would be very much so in line with the rest of the 1-2 Switch games. Don't get me wrong.
If the 1-2 Switch DLC was a game where you picked almonds, it wouldn't surprise me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, but I mean.
Let me just say, the only thing I'm going to say is that never in my entire time at The Escapist have I seen a comment section so united on a topic than when I had to write about this story. That is all I'm going to say, and put that down. I have never seen it before where it was unanimous. It was just like, oh man, really?
Well, even most people who are actually into animal rights and whatnot dislike PETA because they make them look ridiculous.
Yeah, like with letters to Nintendo about not like it's an in-depth game that includes anything at all about anything at all. Like all of the 1-2 Switch games are absolutely ridiculous and in no way depict the actions that you're actually doing.
Yeah, I mean, because I know that the first thing I wanted to do after seeing that 1-2 switch video was go out and yank a baby cow away from its mother and milk the cow for hours.
Subliminal messaging, man.
Yes, God. So, I mean, you know, let's not forget this is PETA we're talking about, the so-called ethical treatment of animals people that kill like 85% of the animals that they bring into their shelters.
Yep.
You know, these are the people that are making value judgments.
Yeah, and they kill them.
Yeah, so I'm not really worried about it. I did think it was funny.
Yeah.
I was amused by it. So
I like the one part in the letter where they said, "Can we have some realism, please?" And it's like, wait a second. wait a second. What?
yeah, I know.
So the gall to talk about rape racks or whatever those things are, when they spend so much time and money advertising and saying that, oh, women are similar to cows, you know, like, I mean, way to devalue sexual assault. Like,
yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, comparing insemination of livestock to rape is that's
it's just no. Yeah, you just don't fucking Jesus
Christ.
Oh,
God. PETA.
Yeah.
Oh, PETA. Never failing to make me laugh, though.
You know, PETA,
they are actually quite good at making
PETA files.
It's actually...
Oh, that's horrible.
It's actually quite funny, but it's also kind of sad.
No, PETA, I'm just trying to make sure I'm not mixing up my crazy activist groups. They also make those weird Pokemon games, right?
I think so.
Yeah, they do.
They made that weird Cooking Mama game. And...
Right. I remember the Pokemon games because it's like the depiction is like where they're all bloody and wounded, and it's like animal fighting isn't fun.
Don't get me wrong.
Like
I think
like,
there's
oh my
definitely.
God.
Don't get me wrong. I think there's definitely a case to be made that Pokemon is a really brutal game, right? I think that's fair. Like I can just like there was a bit
more brutal when you get like into the humanoid Pokemon because then it's like, wait a second, Mr. Mime's just hanging on your ball there.
Yeah, well, I mean, think about it. You think about like you're in a world where there's a fucking Zubat around every corner, right?
Yeah.
Right, absolutely.
And so I can see you leaning over and whispering in the ear of your Zubat and be like, dude, you lose this battle, I'm going to get that guy over there and leave you to die.
Right?
Right?
Yeah.
So don't fuck it up.
Don't fuck it up.
you think they, in the Pokemon world, do they eat Pokemon?
Oh, hell yeah. They do. They don't admit it. Everybody's quiet about it. Like, they're all pretending to be vegan and shit, but in the back room, somebody's cutting up a Pikachu.
Absolutely. I totally believe that.
You know, there's underground cafes. If you look hard enough, you'll find them.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
they even do like authentic wine pairings to go along with
They've got those. It's like those Japanese seafood restaurants where they extract parts from the fish while they're still alive.
The fugu restaurants, yeah.
Fugu restaurants, yeah.
The I could see a guy, he'd bring it out a tray with a still twitching Pikachu on it, and he says, here's a really nice house red. It's, it's tasty but never precocious. So, but anyway, speaking of bad decisions, I don't know if you guys saw this, but Activision wants to create a Call of Duty cinematic universe similar to Marvel's.
No. Please,
no.
Please, no.
That is a thing that I saw.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
No.
By the way, warning, folks. I think the Dawn of War 3 tutorial here may be kind of broken. Unless I'm...
Uh-oh.
What's wrong with it exactly?
Operator error.
Hold on a second.
Probably.
Possibly, but...
So apparently, anyway, they're working on a series of Call of Duty films.
Ugh.
Here's a quote from, are you familiar with Stacy Scher?
I am not.
No.
Okay, so Stacy Scher is a film producer who now works for Activision. She produced films you've probably heard of. She produced Aaron Brockovich. She produced Gattaca, which, God, I love that movie.
Yeah.
She produced Pulp Fiction. She was executive producer for Pulp Fiction. She was producer for Get Shorty, Matilda, Be Cool, Django Unchained, Hateful Eight.
Wow. So
You know,
she's
among
basically Quentin
among
Tarantino's person.
Yeah, among other movies. She's done several. She was a producer for Man on the Moon. You know, she's worked on a lot of films.
Right.
Yeah.
But now she works for Activision at Activision Blizzard Studios.
Okay.
And so the original, when they founded that studio, Activision Blizzard Studios, back in 2015, they said it's going to work on movies for Diablo and StarCraft franchises, which seems like a bad idea.
Okay, wait, no, I got it. All right, no, okay, I figured this out now. It's not the problem with the tutorial. Okay.
So it was operator error.
Yes.
Okay. So anyway, now they're saying they're going to do like a Marvel-style cinematic universe based on the Call of Duty series. And she said there's going to be a film that feels more like Black Ops, with a story behind the story, and then the Modern Warfare series that looks at what it's like to fight a war with the eyes of the world on you. And then maybe something that's more of a hybrid, where you're looking at covert operations with a public operation going on out front. The plan is apparently to make the cinematic universe be inspired by the games instead of using actual plots from the games, which is encouraging because the plots for Call of Duty games typically suck. But but apparently they have already written several scripts, and that a lot of them they brought in military experts and retired soldiers to consult on.
Is it going to be an annual release?
Oh, I hope so.
They're saying that the first film could be out next year.
And it's going to go down in history as the first film with a post-launch patch, right?
And if it does well, we could see regular film releases in the universe.
Like once a year.
That's what it sounds like.
Times a year. You know,
Absolutely agreed, Frost Wolfgang. The original Mortal Kombat movie is still the pinnacle of video games.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Still the pinnacle.
Die on that hill.
Pinnacle of video game movies.
That was a fantastic movie. I do not regret any time I have spent with that movie. That was fantastic. I love that movie.
The perfect 90s B movie, action movie.
And then they made a second one.
Oh my god.
Let's pretend that one never existed.
Which, you know what? As weird as it sounds, is probably the second best video game film adaptation.
What is?
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat Annihilation. You might not be wrong. You might not be
wrong. But a TV series, oh my god, please kill me. You know, the one with Christina Loken.
Oh, yeah.
Oh god, that was so bad. Like, so bad. And everyone's dressed up like the characters themselves, so it looks like a porno.
Right.
You know, you have like Katana and all these, all these other female characters, and they're all dressed just like the video game characters. It's like, wow, I'm watching a porno, aren't I?
Like, it just goes to show you how bad video game movies are that I'm sitting here letting you all say that the 1995 Mortal Kombat movie was worth watching.
Yeah.
It's like a cheesy kung fu flick. It's fun. It's genuinely entertaining.
So fun. It's absolutely fun.
Yeah, and back then CGI was expensive, so this is a big budget movie.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, don't forget, as Mr. Crory points out, that Street Fighter movie was one of the few games that gave us something. Street Fighter, the movie, the video game.
Yes,
I will never forget that. I did a gallery of the day. I think it was like worst video games spin-offs or something, and that was absolutely very, very prominently displayed in that gallery. So, God, that game, man.
So a couple of the Resident Evil movies were okay, not great, but okay. Trying to think if there's anything else.
I think they were more okay to people who have never played a Resident Evil.
Well, I mean, let's face it. The Resident Evil series had lost its way so much at that point that we were willing to take anything with Resident Evil in the title that didn't suck.
And then it started sucking. So, I mean, it was very much so followed the Resident Evil formula.
Yeah, it started out decent and went straight down the toilet.
Yeah.
So all it remains now is to set it in a house full of rednecks and fix it.
Yep. That's it right there.
Watch it. Well, they've already made that. It's those Rob Zombie movies, you know.
And it's and here's one that people will probably chastise me for, but the Silent Hill movie wasn't terrible.
I didn't hate it. I will agree with that. I mean, it wasn't perfect, obviously, but no, I will agree. I rather enjoyed that movie as well. Maybe that's number 2.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what's not number 2?
Mario.
Super Mario Brothers. That's the one.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
Oh, God.
I am firmly convinced. I am firmly convinced that the Super Mario Brothers movie was originally just some generic ass, you know, shitty fantasy movie with dinosaurs that they decided to shoehorn the Mario Brothers into as a way to
I
salvage
can't believe that that was allowed to happen. And the worst, like, it's one of those things, like, I will still watch that movie happily.
Why?
Right.
It is so bad, and I acknowledge that it's bad going into it. I can laugh at it.
Okay, yeah, all right.
It's one of those things where I go, like, I don't regret my time with it. It's not like I'm watching it because it's a good thing that happened, but it is a thing that happened, and it makes me laugh.
It's
like,
it's
all
as
you
bad
need
as
to
a Double
know.
Dragon movie.
All you need to know about the Super Mario Brothers movie is that quote from Bob Hoskins.
Oh, poor Bob Hoskins. Rest in
When
peace.
They asked him, what was the worst thing you ever worked on? And he said, Super Mario Brothers. It was a fucking nightmare. The whole experience was a nightmare. It had a husband and wife team directing whose arrogance was mistaken for talent. After so many weeks, their own agents told them to get the hell off the set.
Wow.
Oh my God. That just made me like it even more.
Yeah, I mean, it's great.
Like, knowing the disaster that was behind the scenes. I will tell you that as dangerous and heartbreaking as video game film adaptations always are,
Yeah.
I still have a pain in my soul from that IGN April Fool's joke about the Zelda movie.
Oh, yeah.
Because it looked like it could have been something great. That was a hell of a trailer. I watched it the other day because I'm an asshole. And it's still, like, I watch it and it's like, but maybe. But maybe.
Crumbling Phalanx says, the main characters were drunk during the filming constantly. What, the filming of Super Mario Brothers?
Yeah, seriously, there is actually...
I mean, I don't blame them.
Well, here's some interesting facts from the Super Mario Brothers movie because we got to it. And I loved reading about how terrible this movie was. They originally wanted Danny DeVito to direct it and star in it.
Oh my God.
So he passed on it. So then they approached Tom Hanks.
What,
who passed on it.
To play Mario?
To play Mario, yes. So they got Bob Hoskins, right? What? So before they got Dennis Hopper to play King Koopa, right? Who were the people they considered for that role? Arnold Schwarzenegger and Michael Keaton.
What?
How do any of those, even Dennis Hopper, how is he even Koopa, you know?
Oh my God, I'm dead.
Okay, so things that were considered before the dystopian cyberpunky Manhattan that we got in Super Mario Brothers, they were going to do a lighthearted adventure like Wizard of Oz style.
Mm-hmm.
Then they decided, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to do a Die Hard inspired version with a cameo from Bruce Willis.
What?
Yeah, these are things they did before that. You know that they also wanted it to be kind of kid friendly, and so when the studio thought that it was getting too dark, they called in the guy that wrote Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure to do a pass on the script.
What? Shut the front door. Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
Oh my God.
Apparently it had like 9 different writers. The script went through like 9 different writers.
And none of them consulted each other. They were given their own part and they just went into a room and then it was turned together.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Apparently one of the directors decided that one of the extras didn't look dirty enough for the part, so he poured a pot of coffee over his head.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
John Leguizamo was drinking on set while driving. Had an accident and caused Bob Hoskins to be in a cast during some of the filming.
What?
Oh my God. What a fucking disaster.
Oh my God.
This is like the apocalypse now of video game adaptation movies, basically.
Oh no, wait, it gets better. I'm
going to hang up with this call and I'm going to go watch this movie now that I have this.
No, stop. It gets better. You can't leave yet. You can't leave yet. It gets better. So at the end of the original Super Mario Bros. Hey, spoiler alert! For a 40-year-old movie or however old it is, You know, at the end, they shoot him with that gun and it makes him devolve into slime, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so the original ending, they had to scrap because they ran out of time. They were already 5 weeks over schedule. Was that Mario was going to scale the Brooklyn Bridge and defeat King Koopa by throwing a bomb down his throat, then kicking him into the river before he exploded.
Oh my god.
That would at least
that would have been a better ending, though. I mean,
and you know, that would have actually had something to do with, you know, Mario. Because I mean, we all know the Mario universe. It's all about, you know, Koopa trying to control the direction of evolution with his genetic engineer laser beam.
right.
Yeah, so here's the part that's really interesting. There's the stories there are all those stories going around about how the developers, you know, or not developers, the directors, they basically banned the directors from the editing bay when they edited the movie.
Oh,
like that's how bad it was. So, if you ever want to watch a really horrible movie that earned its horribleness, that's a good place.
That's the one right there. That's it.
You know, let's put it this way: it makes the Doom movie look really, really good.
Oh my god!
I know.
I'm crying. I'm watching it tonight. I'm gonna do it.
I believe you.
Now that I have all of this behind the scenes, you know, all these little factoids.
I want to go back and watch it because from what I read, there's apparently a point where you can see Bob Hoskins and his cast in the movie. So I need you to report back.
I thought you were about to say like there's a point where you can see Bob Hoskins like soul flee his body or something.
That happened well before principal photography wrapped. I think they cut it.
Yeah. It was just a little bit too much. It was too real. Oh my god, I love that our podcast all of a sudden ended up us talking about the Mario movie.
Well, why not? I mean,
well, speaking of video game movies.
Oh god.
Oh no.
We Happy Few.
I heard about that
movie.
They're making a movie out of that, right?
Isn't the game still in early access?
It's not.
It is currently in early access. The only thing that they're saying as of right now is that the game will be out before the movie. Basically all we know, but that's the thing that's going to happen. I hate to get my hopes up, but I love the art style of it. I like the premise of it. It could be neat if it doesn't get fucked up.
Yeah. I mean, like, they released the game too early. You know, when they released early access, they had no content. Outside of the prologue, there's nothing. All you do is wander around the city. So
I actually have not played it recently. I do have to go back because I know that they do add quite frequently. So I'm very curious to see how it's changed since the last time I played it, which was a while ago.
Because I mean, when they were advertising it and selling it on Kickstarter, right? They were basically promising BioShock is what they were promising,
right?
And when it came out on early access, it's just the core gameplay, but nothing else. You know,
but isn't that's kind of the rule, not the exception of early access, though? I mean, I usually recommend against trying anything in early access because I'm going to go in, I'm going to be like, oh my god, this is shit. I'm not even going to touch this again ever, and then it's going to end up being one of the best games ever. So,
well, I mean, that's the problem with early access, though.
Color you, yeah.
I mean, I feel like early access for some games is a good idea.
Yes.
You know, it works well for games that are large and largely multiplayer focused. Games like Ark.
Yeah, right. It works for those.
It works for those because you have a world you can inhabit, and that world gets bigger and more nuanced as you play because people are adding to it all the time. But in the case of a single player game, I think Liz is onto something here. You play the part that's out. If it sucks, you never go back to it. There's too many games. There's just too many games available for you to go back to a game you didn't enjoy.
Right.
So I think that's the problem with, like, say, Divinity 2, right? It's such a huge game, and they put it on early access. I understand why, but I don't want to play it, you know, because all that stuff is going to be overhauled, you know. I mean, they just released like 2 patches ago, and it's a completely different game from when they just put it out like 5 months ago, you know.
Right.
And it just takes one patch, and boom, everything's changed, and you're like, do I want to experience this story all over again? Probably not.
Right.
Well,
it becomes tedious at a point.
You know what I like better than early access? Free demos.
Free demos are awesome,
and
cool. Free demos should always be a thing.
You know what has a free demo now?
Dishonored 2 is doing a
Dishonored 2 has a free demo now.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you can go to Steam, PlayStation Network, or Xbox Live. You can download the free demo. You can play the first 3 missions of the campaign as either Corvo or Emily.
That's not bad.
And you can play them as many times as you want because there's no time limit on it.
Right.
And if you buy the game, all the saves you create in the free during using the free trial work in the full game. So
that is how you do a free demo, ladies and gentlemen.
That is how you do it.
Just in case you were wondering.
Yeah.
I am absolutely a firm believer that every single game should have a free demo.
Do you remember? I mean, this is me being old, okay?
Yeah.
But do you remember when you used to like buy PC Gamer magazine and you would get a disc full of PC game demos?
Yes, I do.
Do you remember when every fucking game you could download and play a demo? Yeah. The Hairless Organ says Mafia 3 has a free demo now, which it does. He says, why is the question? Well, the reason is people are more likely to buy a thing that they try out. I mean, if you're going into Mafia 3, most people aren't jumping onto Mafia 3 and saying, man, can't wait to spend $60 on this. But if you're interested in it, then guess what?
Right, and by then, like, it's something, especially with the ability to just download it afterwards, and when you want it, it's like it's fresh and it's there. It's kind of like having free samples on the counter. It's like, here, try this flavor, and then you try the flavor, and you're like, I like that flavor, and I want more of that flavor. So you buy it.
The reason we keep emphasizing that the demo is free is because that is no longer always the case.
Right.
I mean, sometimes to get the free demo, you have to pre-order the fucking game.
Right.
I mean,
it's not really a free demo at that point anyway.
Grab the free demo by pre-ordering, but I just gave you $60. That's not free.
I know, fucking, Mass Effect Andromeda had a so-called demo, right? You had to pay a subscription service, first of all, and then you had to pre-order the game to access it. Just pre-ordering the game itself wasn't enough to give it to you. You had to buy a subscription service. It's like $10 a month. And then you could play for 10 hours. What is that? Like who in their right mind would do, think that's a good idea?
Mr. Crory makes an excellent point, is that one of the great things about a PC demo, he mentions Nier, is you can see if your PC can actually run the damn thing.
Oh, that's
now granted
right there, right? Yeah.
Granted, on Steam you could go buy it and then see if it would run. If it didn't run, you could refund it.
Right.
That is, you're tying up $60.
Right.
You are. It takes 3 to 5 days. Sometimes.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, hopefully none of us are at the point where $60 is going to put you on the street, but you never know.
But still, that's a decent chunk of money. It's not nothing.
Yeah, it's a decent chunk of money.
Like if I lost $60 in cash while I was out, in Philadelphia, like I'd be pretty pissed.
Yeah, you'd be mad.
And on top of that, it's like there are many games that are out, right? And you have only $60, so that's their spending budget for the month for a video game. And so
it's tied up for a week.
Right, yeah, signed up for a week, and you can't play anything else. Let's say you had a choice between these 2 other games. You had, say, Persona 5, and you had Nier, and then you had Mass Effect Andromeda. Oh, I don't know. If I bought one of these games, and my computer can't run it, what am I going to do then? I mean, it's tied up for a week, and so for a whole week, I can't play anything. Great. Excellent.
Yeah, so I'm stuck. I'm stuck playing stuff I've already had. Don't get me wrong. I've got enough stuff in my Steam, I'm on my Steam backlog that I could have $60 tied up for 2 years and not get caught up. But, like, I swear that when it gets slow, that I may just do a Steam backlog stream that starts in like May 15th and ends in like to Christmas.
Yeah.
I might get like half of my backlog out of the way.
I love that idea.
So, but it'll be pretty mature rated. There will be a lot of bad language. Playing games with me involves a lot of bad language. So
yeah,
that is so shocking. What?
Yeah, I know, right?
No way, you
crazy tall.
The guy who just a few freaking minutes ago said monkey fucking a football. You? I simply don't believe it.
Oh man, I often wonder what a Steam backlog stream. Whew, say that 10 times fast. Would look like, just because it would be such an interesting mix of games. You know, fair warning, there's like 500 and something games in my Steam account, so it would take a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is been really interesting as far as, oh, you know what else happened this week we didn't even mention that's actually kind of important? They put a patch out for Andromeda that has like not scary eyes in it.
Yes, yeah. I'm so disappointed.
Liz is so mad.
I am the one person who's actually mad about this being a thing. I'm so upset.
They redid the shaders. They fixed the eyes. Like now Addison doesn't look like a crazy person.
She doesn't, yeah.
So disappointing.
Yeah, that's nonsense. Full nonsense. You know, everybody looked a little bit high in the original game. Their eyes just a little too wide open, a little like too shiny.
Yeah.
You shut up. They looked gorgeous.
The patch helped a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as Mr. Croy said, now they could just do a patch for the writing. Ooh.
If only.
Sick burn.
Yeah. We're gonna go put that out. We'll be right back.
Now there is one other thing that happened. There were lots that happened. It was not really much of a happening, but it's a little bit, and I would like to try to discuss it very briefly if you don't mind.
Okay, do it.
Okay, so April Fool's Day, there were a whole bunch of things going around, including CD Projekt Red teasing me with the Geralt in a tub figurine that doesn't exist. But one thing that did happen that doesn't appear to actually be a joke is now there is a countdown to something Bayonetta related.
Oh, yeah.
Going on.
Oh, cool.
So we're not entirely sure what it is. April Fools. They had released, it was 8-Bit Bayonetta, which is a crappy little free Steam game. Where you jump and then you jump again and then you can shoot. Yeah. And it led to the countdown. So let me see. Let me pull up the countdown. Right now we have 4 days, 1 hour, and 14 minutes until some sort of Bayonetta type announcement.
So Tuesday.
So basically, it's Bayonetta 3 for the PlayStation 4 Pro, right? I mean, it's probably what it is.
I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know. It came out on Steam, so could we be possibly talking about some sort of PC port?
That'd be cool.
Oh my god, I would love.
Oh my god!
Bayonetta 1 and 2, like remaster those to the PC.
I
yeah.
I kind of was under
the decision to make it be on Steam, where this joke originated. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards.
So I
feel like
I was under the impression that like Bayonetta 2 was basically made only got funded because it was a Nintendo exclusive.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, I mean, who knows?
I'm just putting it out there.
They can still, bite back or there's some thing tied up with the rights, right? I mean, it's not out of the question that they release it on the PS4 eventually, because I
could see it. I could see them doing a next gen Bayonetta collection.
I will be right back.
Yeah, absolutely.
With 1 and 2 remastered for PC, PS4, and Xbox One, right? That could happen.
Yeah,
that's it's probably not big possibility. It's probably not likely, but I mean. It could also be Bayonetta 3 as a Nintendo Switch exclusive, at which point the 12 people that enjoyed Bayonetta would be really pissed.
Oh.
They're okay, John's not here, so I have to really, I'm going to hold this till John gets back, because this is, John's going to hate me, and I want to give him the a fair, chance to to call me out on it, to rebut this. Yes, I do not want to do this without John being present. I will mention that, speaking of Wii U games that people that barely anyone played, which is all of them, did you guys see that they announced a release date today for the War Mastered edition of Darksiders for Wii U?
No, I didn't see that.
It's coming out May 23rd for $20. They're releasing a $20 remaster on a console that hasn't been manufactured for a couple of months.
Yeah, what's even the point of that?
I don't know what the fucking point is. Like I guess
it's a great game and everything, but it's gonna sell like a total of 50 copies, you know.
I guess we're going to make we said we're going to do it, and because they released the PS4, PC, Xbox One version
a while back,
last year. And they said we need more time to finish the Wii U version, so I guess maybe they want to follow through. They've got all this money invested in it. We're going to roll it out and see if we can at least get a couple people to buy it. Right?
That's crazy because I mean, other studios like the Bloodstained studio, right? They're like, we're actually scrapping the Wii U version. We're making because nobody's playing on the Wii U. There's no point in releasing it on there. Instead, we're going to dedicate that time to polishing it up better on the other platforms, and maybe we'll consider a Switch.
Right.
Lothian says they're playing the long game. Look at how desirable NES stuff is these days. Fair point, sir. Well played.
Well played.
Yeah, I mean, and Whiffin makes the point that just because they're not making it anymore doesn't mean people don't own one still. I think that's true.
Yeah, I still do.
Yeah, I have my Wii U.
I
I didn't bother with the Switch. I played Zelda on the Wii U, and it was pretty much the same exact experience because the game was technically built for it. Yeah.
Let me ask you guys a question.
Okay.
Do you know anyone that owns a Wii U that also does not own another console or a PC that they game on?
No.
No.
Okay. So
No, nobody just owns a Nintendo console. Let's just be very clear on that.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a thing. There might be some children.
don't hold me to this, but I feel fairly confident that Reggie's Wii U is sitting on top of his PS4. Right? You know, I feel like most people that own a Wii U, and I would say a very high percentage of them, especially the Wii, not the Wii. There are a lot of people that own a Wii that own nothing else.
Right, yeah.
But the Wii U, I don't think there are that many of its 13 million owners.
13.4.
Sorry. I apologize to the other 400,000 people. I don't think there's that many of their 13.4 million users that only own the Wii U. And I think those that wanted to play Darksiders, the War Mastered Edition that badly have already played it.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, if all you own is a Wii U, or if you're playing the whole I'm going to get a console generation behind game, this is a win for you.
Right.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I know people that do that. They do it with PCs too. You know, they say, I only upgrade my PC once every 5 years. And until then, I play the games that I had to miss the previous 5 years, right?
Right.
Yeah, some people do that.
That's the beauty of being on PC, though, is that you can still play those games.
Yeah, because your library is still with you.
Yeah, so,
always.
You know, but what is... Oh, John's looking at it. I'm trying to figure out what he was doing. It's the tutorial for Dawn of War 3.
Oh,
this is confused for a second. Sometimes that happens to me. But anyway, it's odd to me that that's a thing that is being released. I don't know. I mean, it's just weird.
I don't see the point of it.
Well, I mean, I can see the point to it.
I don't see it. What is it?
You know what we haven't talked about? You know what we haven't even mentioned?
What?
Earlier this week, Microsoft revealed the Scorpio specs.
Oh yeah, we know like everything about it except for what it's like, right?
Yeah, we know everything about it except what it costs, what it looks like, when it's coming out, what games are going to be added to make it actually worth buying. But other than that, we know everything.
Than that,
yeah.
I mean, looking at it for a console, it's definitely as powerful as hell. Like,
well,
it's going to be a beast. But
if you sit down and look at the specs, you're talking about they're staring it down. We're going to make this thing better than the PS4 Pro, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So it's like 200 megahertz faster per core in the CPU than the PS4 Pro.
8 cores too, right?
Both of them have 8 cores.
Yeah.
They're both using Jaguar cores. The Scorpio is using sort of a custom version of the Jaguar core, the x86 Jaguar core, clocked to 2.3 gigahertz per core. The GPU is faster and has more customized compute units. It has 12 gig of DDR5 instead of the PS4 Pro's 8. It has more memory bandwidth. It has a 4K Blu-ray drive in it, which honestly has always been hilarious to me. So here's the thing. I think it's perfectly fair to say Scorpio is going to push 4K games, no problem. I know that the Eurogamer article that they posted from their Digital Foundry people said that good, because I got something for you. But let me finish this point. Here's the thing: we don't know what it's going to cost. Rumor is $500.
Yeah, they're saying that it's definitely going to be more than the PlayStation. So.
Oh yeah, it's going to be $500. It's still nowhere close to what you can do with the PC.
Right, absolutely. And honestly, the biggest issue, yes, all of that shit looks amazing on paper, and it's like, oh wow, compare the two.
What the fuck are you gonna play on it?
What are you gonna play on it? Like, if you have to sit down and you have to put both consoles side by side, the fact of the matter, and this is a fact of the matter, this is an opinion. I love my Xbox One, but the fact of the matter is the PlayStation 4 has better exclusives.
Yeah,
that is not going to be a thing that changes.
No.
And it's not going to change because of the shiny new toy. A lot needs to happen for console gamers to justify spending that much money on that thing. Yeah. And it has to come in the form of exclusive games you cannot get anywhere else, even if it's timed. Because I'm sorry, but Halo isn't going to sell this fucking thing.
No. Forza is not going to sell this fucking
thing. No, it's not.
All right? I mean, here's the reality of it is that at the end of the day, shit in 4K is still shit.
Yes, okay? it's just shit that you can tell that it's shit.
You can see the peanuts in the shit better in 4K.
The only thing that it has going for it is that it runs everything backwards compatible and it upgrades them, right? So
no, it doesn't. Actually, it can, but that depends on the developers. What happens in most cases is that it does what they call super scaling. So it downscales 4K to 1080p. So even if you don't have a 4K TV, you still get the benefit of it because it looks better on your 1080 display.
Right.
But
okay, folks.
The reality of it is this. What's that, John?
I was gonna say, I hate to cut this short, but we're coming up on 3 Eastern.
Okay, well, give me 1 second because I have a point to make for you.
Okay.
Bayonetta was brought up earlier, that there's a Bayonetta countdown going on the Platinum Games site right now. It's 4 days. So sometime on Tuesday, we're going to have Bayonetta, right? Something Bayonetta related is going to be announced, whether it's DLC or a remaster or whatever, we don't know. I would like to make the point that probably the most overrated games in history are made by Platinum Games. And I want to give you the point to...
Shut your lying whore hole.
I want to give you the floor to rebut this because Bayonetta sucked. Bayonetta 2 sucked.
The most overrated, we're saying the single most overrated game.
When I say the single most overrated, I'm not saying a single game. I'm saying as a whole, Platinum Games are more overrated. The games made by Platinum Games are more overrated than the majority of as a whole games of anybody else.
I refer you to my previous remarks about your whore hole.
Okay, well then, I mean, you have to counter that. Where the more overrated?
I mean, what is a game made by Platinum Games that lived up to its hype or was as good as they said it was going to be?
I'm not sure. What,
hello?
What? Yeah, what? No, what do you...
I know that, John, you're a big fan of, like, Nier Automata. I know you've been playing that. You like
Nier Automata's lived up to the hype. Vanquish surpassed its non-existent hype.
Bayonetta is garbage.
Metal Gear Rising is
oh god, don't start with that Revengeance bullshit again.
Revengeance is an outstanding game, and if it's not my fault that you are too blind to see what is before your eyes.
Like, I mean, they made let's see, what has Platinum Games made? They made Mad World, which was pretty much garbage. They made Infinite Space, which nobody played. They made Bayonetta, which was ridiculously overrated. They made Vanquish, which was trash.
Shut up. No.
They made Anarchy Reigns, which was even more trash. Oh, that was bad. Did you play that one? Anarchy Reigns? That was a mess.
That one I have not, no.
Yeah, don't. They made Revengeance or whatever.
Okay.
I stole that from Crumbling Phalanx in the chat. I'm sorry.
Rising Revengeance?
Yeah.
That's not even a word.
It is a word. It's just a very goofy
word.
word. It is an archaic
goofy word.
Yeah, it's a goofy word.
Yes.
It is an actual word, though. But folks,
it is for real a word. Yeah,
we
actually had that discussion with John before.
I really do need to start the next part of the stream. If you guys want to stick around or whatever, while
I definitely will stick around. What are you streaming?
Dawn of War.
Dawn of War 3.
Dawn of War. Yeah.
All right, folks.
All right, well, quick. Let me throw this down. Thanks for watching the podcast. We appreciate it. It's been a really good time. Appreciate all the comments. If you want to find us on Twitter, you can follow the stream at Escapist on Twitch. Is that right, John?
At Escapist Stream.
At Escapist Stream on Twitter. You can always know when we go live. You can find senior editor of the Escapist, Liz Finnegan, at the Gingerarchy. You can find Escapist contributor Ian Miles Chong at Still Gray. You can find stream guy John Markley at John Drew Markley, and you can find me, managing editor Ron Whitaker at FFRonW. John's going to stream some Dawn of War 3 now. I understand.
Yep. And also, thanks everybody for joining me. Also, Liz, would you be up for sometime tonight or this weekend trying some Darkest Dungeon?
Possibly.
Let me know if you do that. I want to come for that.
Okay, but only if you stream you trying to teach somebody Overwatch and I get to watch.
Who, me trying to teach someone Overwatch?
No, me.
Yeah, somebody asked him to help.
Somebody asked me to teach them Overwatch.
I'll be back in just a minute, folks.
And my immediate reaction was, can I please